Grifter number 9, written by Rob Liefeld and Frank Thierry, art by Scott Clark. It's a new arc. I don't, and I can't even tell you what happened last issue because I genuinely don't remember it. But this issue opens up with Grifter. He is snowboarding down the Swiss Alps, being chased by 3 completely pitch black figures that I think are supposed to be Daemonites, but regardless. They're skating down and basically just is recounting, oh, I hate those Daemonites, they're so bad, but I like the way they die. And they just get into a huge fight over and over the whole way down the mountain until finally there's just one Daemonite left, and he sheds the dark outfit, and it turns out he is an elite Daemonite, meaning he's bigger and he's red. And so he comes up on Grifter and he's like, why do you keep running, bro? I'm gonna kill you no matter what. And Grifter's like, okay, go for it. And he keeps on doing snarky comments, and as the elite's about to attack him, this random woman dressed in green jumps in with like katanas and guns and whatnot and just starts kicking the elite's ass, and Grifter is literally like completely useless here. But then during the fight, she gets knocked on her ass as well, and Grifter, who's standing over behind a tree, fires off a shot into the kneecaps of the elite, and that gives her just enough time to kick the elite off of a cliff and send him plummeting to his, I guess, death. So then Grifter and this woman start talking. Her name is Nico, and basically she's like, okay, so you understand me and you're on the same side. Let's go. We got stuff to talk about. You're part of a bigger war. So they go and they head to a little cabin somewhere in the Alps, and basically she just lays this all out. There is a war going on. This isn't just you. This is all of Earth versus the Daemonites, and we are part of the resistance movement, and we need you in here. And basically she lays down exactly what's been going on of the Daemonites that Grifter has encountered up to this point are all scouts. They were probing Earth and making sure that it was A, easy enough for the Daemonites to take over, and B, suitable for their inhabitants. And unfortunately, apparently within the past few issues, they have decided, yep, this is good enough, let the actual invasion begin. And so that's why they're sending elites to the planet to now act as like the muscle. But apparently, in Daemonite culture, there is a prophecy of basically John Connor. There's someone who's going to rise up and lead the resistance and will be the only force in stopping them. So they're trying to kill that person. And of course that person is Grifter. He is the special one. And he's like, that's stupid. That doesn't exist. Like, what? But I mean, I guess I could be if you really need me to be. So does that make me like the leader of the resistance now? And she's like, yeah, I wouldn't phrase it that way, but like technically you kind of could be. Like, we'll take what you say into an account. But they say they need to go and meet up with the rest of their team down in some meetup point later on. But then they realize that there's noises around the cabin that they're in, and they're like, oh, well, we might have to fight our way out. This is it. But it turns out that it's actually just the rest of their group who have shown up here because apparently the rendezvous point was swarming with Daemonites. So they're meeting up here, and one of the guys' name is Deathblow, and he's like, so you're the chosen one, huh? Well, what are you gonna tell us to do, oh glorious leader? And Grifter's like, oh boy, what did I get myself mixed up in? Bwomp, 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 bwomp. So just a few things that I briefly skipped over here. He for some reason keeps humming and hawing about whether or not he's going to join the resistance, and there's just this one like almost full page here of him just all grim dark and like shadows. He's like, you just show up here out of nowhere and I'm supposed to believe everything you say? And I'm like, yeah you are. You've been through some crazy stuff over the past few weeks and or months. Maybe, I don't know, listen to them. And then she punches him for like not taking this seriously, I guess. It's whatever. And also, when she's explaining who the Damonites and like what they do and all that, they actually show Hellspont, who I think debuted in a Grifter issue, but mainly took his story into Superman. From what I gather, he was expelled from the Damonites in that story. So why he's showing up here as what seems to be their leader doesn't make any goddamn sense. But regardless, yeah, the Grifter's got a new team. So it's okay. I was really scared when this started because I read Rob Liefeld writing, but it turns out he's in charge of just the overall story, whereas the dialogue was left up to Frank Thierry, and that's not. Frank Thierry did a fine job. He did perfectly good. I don't know how much input Rob Liefeld actually had, but it doesn't seem to be in the nitty gritty. I feel like he's just going to be because like we have a guy named Deathblow. That's Rob Liefeld. Like, even if he's taking a character from earlier continuity, the fact that we're using him at all, it's Rob Liefeld. Art is pretty good. It's got a little bit more of like a, I wouldn't say painterly style, but it's just not as gritty as it has been. It's a little bit more refined than house style, so it's definitely got something going for it there. And I like the way a lot of it's done. The inks are pretty damn heavy though, but what are you gonna do? So overall, I would give this one I give it like a 6. And mainly it just comes down to he had that girl like 3 issues ago that was working with him, and then they killed her off, and then they're just like, okay, but here's a new girl that's like literally could just be the exact same. There was in fact, they even say like the same stuff of like the Damonites have been here for so long and we have an arsenal and we're going to war. It's literally the same character. They just killed off the original one so that they could introduce this one. I don't understand why that was necessary, but regardless, 6 for this, and I guess we'll see what old Bobby has up his sleeve.